Hey guys, welcome back to the ANA podcast where I'm Aaron.
And I'm Adam, and this is the NA podcast. And once again, we have Andrew Fenichel on. This is part 2. So let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is, wow, the Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic. This would, you will agree with me that this is the biggest trade in all of sports history, right? I mean, can't name a bigger.
I don't know about that. I've seen a lot of people saying that, but you got to think A-Rod to the Yankees is up there. He was coming off an MVP. You had the Kareem trade, I would argue in NBA history was pretty big at the time. Prime Kareem coming off, right? He had he had multiple MVPs. He had a title with the Bucks. It's up there. I mean, it's probably the biggest trade in 20 years.
We'll see.
I don't know. That's tough, right? You got to. We're gonna have to find out.
This is so insane because, oh my! When I woke up that morning, I did not expect for anybody on the Lakers. I mean, LeBron's been asking for help ever since the championship team, and now he's the only one left on the championship team. Isn't that crazy? Everybody. I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, personally, I think we're contenders, in my opinion. I know we don't have a big. I know our defense is horrible, but you can't tell me that a team with Luka Doncic and LeBron James can at least make the playoffs.
I mean, making the playoffs is a lot different than being contenders.
But I said it before, I think the Lakers can beat every single team in the West besides the Nuggets. So, I don't know.
Not the Thunder?
Yeah, the Thunder too. I think we can beat them.
But I'm saying you think the Lakers are better than the Thunder.
Not better, but we can beat them.
Can you beat them? Sure.
Luka last year, I don't know. It's insane. I don't know. I'm still processing this. Okay,
see, I'm kind of the opposite. I love the trade for you guys, but I think you guys are basically giving up on this season. I don't think you guys have any shot this year.
Oh yeah,
starting Jackson Hayes at center. You have no backup bigs either. You have no depth. Austin Reeves is still your third best player. You're starting Rui. The roster's not good. Luka and LeBron also don't really work together. Obviously, it's great talent, and they're talented enough that I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out somehow. But they're both ball-dominant guys that need 30% usage rates. Like you said, the defense isn't good. The West is too good to me. I think the Mavs are much better than the Lakers right now. But I still prefer this trade for LA because for the next 10 years, the Lakers are going to be better, and Luka is just that special. But this season alone, no, I think the Lakers are cooked this year. I don't think they have any chance.
That's what I was going to say. For this season, I don't think
they might just trade LeBron to the Warriors, and if that happens, I'm just not watching. I might just give up on the end. I might just switch to baseball or something. I don't know. But okay, next thing I want to get into is I have a hot take that I want your opinion on. Okay, in my opinion, I don't think this is so much of a hot take because, okay, KD is the greatest shooter of all time. Kevin Durant, greatest shooter. No, listen. When it comes to shooting, I remember I watched your videos about greatest shooters. It's not just 3-point shots. It's also mid-range shots, how clutch you are. It's just Steph isn't that much of a better 3-point shooter. Not that much. Yeah, his percentages are higher, but I mean, and Kevin Durant's mid-range, I don't think I've ever seen him miss one. I don't know. I haven't watched many. I haven't been tracking him for that long, but what are your thoughts on that?
Here's what I'll say. I see what you're going for. I see what you're trying to do. And it's not the worst take ever. It's really not. Because sure, Durant can get his shot off more easily than Steph. So therefore, is he better, right? And it's I understand where you're coming from, but then it's I don't know. The whole who's the better shooter thing. It's the same as Damian Lillard or James Harden versus Steve Novak. Who's the better shooter? And it's well, Novak shoots 45% from three, but Harden can do it off the dribble. Harden has the mid-range. It's what even is shooting at that point, right? I don't even know. Is it pure? I guess it's kind of what you're saying. Is it just 3-point shooting? It's also not Steph's a bad mid-range shooter. He just doesn't shoot as many of them. So, no, I still think Steph's the greatest shooter ever, but I see where you're coming from.
Me too. I think he's the greatest 3-point shooter, but I don't know. People have just kind of given it to him without even like arguing because
without even thinking KD
Yeah.
into the.
But I have another take, which this is hot. Okay, Chris Paul should have won the 2008 MVP.
I know this is like a popular one. I would have to go back and like really study it, but yeah, Chris Paul was really good. I mean, I actually like this take. I think that's solid. That's solid.
Nice. Finally, no
So
arguing
let's-
about that.
No
much.
arguing about
Not
that.
much arguing.
I think Kobe should have won 2006. Steve Nash robbed it from him. But that also, I want to get that and lead it into this year's MVP debate. I know you're a Jokic guy. I think Shea should win. Just give me your take on.
We know your thoughts about Shea, but yeah,
Just tell me why
Who's
Jokic
better?
should win. Outside of, tell me why Jokic should win.
Who's better?
Jokic. And in my opinion, the MVP rarely goes to the best player. I mean, look at 2005, 2006.
It should though.
Yeah, but I mean, was James Harden really the best player in the world in 2018?
He was right there. It was him, LeBron, Durant, and Steph, right?
Yeah.
It's close. I mean, Shea's really good. I've come around a little on Shea. Like, he's definitely, top 3, top 5 these days, especially with Luka being hurt. But I think Jokic is so clearly better, And again, that's not hate on Shea. It's just like how good Jokic is. And sure, Shea's got the better record, but that's because his team is so much better. He's got better teammates, and like, which it's almost why like I think I made this. I argued this for the Josh Allen versus Lamar MVP debate. I know it's not a football pod, but it's related. It's like you can't really look at MVP in terms of how good your team is with you. It's like how bad your team would be without you. If you take Shea off the Thunder, they're probably, I don't know, middle of the West, right? It would suck. They'd get a lot worse. Huh? Because unless you think they would completely fall off.
Yeah, I think they would be like around 12 to 13 seed. And I think that the Nuggets were without Jokic, it would be like around the same spot. I mean, a Jalen Williams, I know he's an all-star. He's
There's
great.
no way you can believe that. Hold on. Backtrack. You think if you took Jokic and Shea off both teams, they'd be equal?
Yeah. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to.
Well, then I just can't argue my point. Then fair enough. If that's how you believe, then yeah, Shea would be the MVP. I think it's the opposite. I think the Thunder would still be around the 8th seed. I think the Nuggets would be like the 13th or 14th best team in the West.
I just believe that the Nuggets could. I don't know. Jamal Murray. They have Jamal. Actually, never mind. You know what? I'm kind of getting back on this. You're right. Nuggets would be a lot worse, but
yeah.
I mean, you can't tell me that they would build an offense around Jalen Williams. I don't feel like that would work very well because I don't know.
They wouldn't be as good, but they'd be fine. Their defense would still be sick. They'd still have the best defense in the NBA.
Yeah. Speaking of like the GOAT debate, we could pivot here a little to the NFL, only because this season has been just wild, especially for you as a big DC guys, right?
We're all rooting.
The Commanders, dude. We just know that Jaden Daniels, just how good he's been and how far you made it. Honestly, we were kind of rooting for you. Like we were watching your videos, watching your shorts. I guess we're LA, like Rams fans, but getting into football, watching this kind of Commanders underdog, like it's been a while. And I guess the success can really go to like the offense coordinator, Kiff Kinsberg, and what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you guys had a good season too, especially the way like the season started and whatnot. And I was honestly rooting for us to play you guys because then the game would have been here in LA and that would have been fun. But I mean, it was maybe like the most fun I've ever had as a sports fan. And that's coming from someone who's had teams like win the title. I went to the World Series in 2019 when the Nats won it, right? Like the Caps won in 2018. I've had, college teams make March Madness. Like, right, I've had teams that have had theoretically like more success. But like the fact that like we were so bad the year before. And not only that, but I think what people like to me, the most fun part about it was like, not only do we just kind of suck forever, but no one like we were like the joke of the NFL, like off the field too. You know, like we were like a horrible organization. We had like putrid ownership. We like all these scandals, all this like dumb stuff going on off the field. No one ever rooted for us, right? And then within like one season, and it's like what you guys said, you guys were rooting for the Commanders. Like
Yeah,
that's crazy, right? Like we were the cool team. Like we're the people, we're the team everyone's rooting for. I'm just sitting here like, man, I went through the Carson Wentz years and the Alex Smith years and Case Keenum, and I was like, yeah, and Jaden is just so good that like
yeah.
it was hard to even like comprehend, but
Like he's
it
one
was
of the
fun.
best.
It was cool.
This was such a wild year, such a fun year. I think for everyone watching the NFL.
We even went to our first fan game.
Yeah, we went to our first couple of NFL games there, and there's a question of should it be DC or Virginia for the rest of the league, like the Washington
Like, what do you mean?
stadium, the stadium. There's a new like rumor.
Sure. Well, right now they're in Maryland. They're in Landover, Maryland, and they're trying to move it back to DC. I think it'd be cool if they moved back to the old RFK site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool, right? It feels like it'd be more, we are the Washington Commanders, so it makes sense.
Okay, next up, I got a little game that I want to play with you. It's what does these players have in common? So I'm gonna name 3 to 4 players, and you're gonna have to tell me what they have in common. Okay. I'm gonna start with the easy one. Derrick Rose, Steve Nash, Joel Embiid. Super easy.
MVPs.
Well, it's a little more. Yeah, it's a little more than
that. MVPs that never made the finals.
Yep, that's it. Okay, next.
Okay.
This one's gonna be really hard. I didn't even want to give this one to you because it's dumb. This is
Let's go.
Mitchell Robinson, Tristan Thompson, and Drew Holiday.
Okay, Mitchell Robinson. Wait, who was second? Tristan Thompson.
Yep, and Drew. This is super hard. Like, if you ask me, I would never get this.
Give me a sec. I want to try to figure it out. First thought is like something to do with defense.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, it's like Mitchell Robinson.
Think about who they would guard.
I feel like that's just throwing me off even more because like Mitchell Robinson's not guarding the same people as Drew Holiday. But
if you don't get it in the next minute, I'll just give it to you because this one's really hard. I don't think anybody would get.
Try to like come up with a guess. Just, give me 60 seconds. I'll just try to come up with something.
Oh, this is so dumb.
I'll say like held opponents to the lowest field goal percentage or something.
No, not like that.
Just go.
It's not a stat. It's like the eye, like something that you see with your eyes, like what they've done.
What? Something you see with your eyes?
Okay, it's
I don't know.
Someone who scored on that.
Someone who's, I don't know. Just hit. I don't have it. What is it?
These are all people who have fallen victim to Ben Simmons' jump shot. He's made a 3 overall.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would not have gotten.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
the only 3.
Well, he's made 4, but the other was wide open. Nobody was guarding him. So
okay, it's like Ben Simmons 3 was on these guys.
Yeah, that's crazy because Drew Holiday is one of the perimeter defenders, and he made it over him out of all people.
All right.
Okay, this next one, I want you to keep 3 and cut 3 without knowing who comes next. All-time players.
Okay.
So, okay. First up, I got Jamal Murray.
Oh, okay. So I get 3 keeps and 3 cuts, right?
Who's coming next? So you could end up cutting LeBron. Who knows?
A little foreshadowing. I'm going to keep Murray because I think like what he did in that finals run 2 years ago was pretty insane. Obviously, Jokic won and deserved finals MVP, but didn't Murray have like a 30-point triple-double in game 5? And like Murray was kind of insane, and he's always had like good playoff runs. So I'm keeping Murray.
Okay. Next up, I got Kevin Garnett.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, if I'm keeping Murray, then I got to keep KG. So.
Okay. Next up, I got Larry Bird. I'm not making this up as I go. I promise you, I'm not.
Yeah, and I have to keep Bird because Bird is my third greatest ever. So.
Okay, so you cut Allen Iverson, John Moran, and Tim Duncan.
I don't completely hate that. Obviously, I should have kept. I don't hate that. I should have kept Duncan and probably cut Murray. But yeah, I thought that was going to be a lot worse.
Yep, pretty good for guessing. Yeah,
like Murray. Here's what I'll say: Murray versus AI, I think is closer than people might think. You know what I mean?
Wait, you think Jamal Murray and Allen Iverson are like close?
I say closer than people think. Iverson's better, but like when Murray's been healthy, he's really good. You know, like
yeah, it's crazy. I was never made an All-Star.
Yeah, well, healthy. You know.
Yep. Okay. Next up, I want your thoughts on. You already made a video about it, but I want you to know who are the biggest snubs of the 2025 All-Star selections. My opinion, I think Sabonis. He's a big Sabonis.
Big Sabonis.
It's just insane how he gets snubbed back-to-back years. He's leading the league in rebounds, 3-point percentage.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
okay, so 3-point percentage thing, like he shoots what, like 1 a game?
He shoots 2.
Not okay. Wide open, but Sabonis is good. I don't know, but like the team's not, and I just think like West forwards are like pretty stacked. You know, like I don't think he's been better than Jaren. I don't think right. Like
he definitely.
I don't know. Like right. It's like to me, Trae Young was the biggest snub just because he like has to like lead that offense, at least they're, you know, kind of in the thick of the East playoff race. And yeah, I mean, he's basically been snubbed 3 years in a row now. You know, he's leading the league in assists. He's averaging like 11 and a half a game. Yeah. Kyrie, I would have had Kyrie in there. Similar reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, but LaMelo Ball being snubbed, honestly, the biggest snub in All-Star history. I mean, he's averaging more points, rebounds, assists than every single person. It's just so biased, and it's insane. Okay, I want you to tell me how you think Bronny James' career will end up looking like when it's all said and done.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. Oh, you guys go first, and then I'll go.
Okay. This is kind of insane, but I think he'll make at least one all-defense team. I don't think he'll ever be an All-Star. Yeah. I'm just keeping it realistic. Yep. I think his highest scoring season will be around 10 points per game. Because, I mean, people make memes about him like he's not bad at basketball. He's obviously a great player. He made it to the NBA. So, what about you? How do you think?
Well, I want your answer first.
Well, obviously, he's definitely not going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. As LeBron fans, just keeping it as realistic. No Hall of Famer, but I think people really do just like kind of underestimate him. I mean, like he made it to the NBA, and it's not. Yeah, I agree with that. Like 10 points a game, maybe all defense.
What about you?
Here's what I'm going to do, because I've made this point before. I'm pulling up the basketball recruiting rankings of Bronny's high school class, because this is what I think people don't understand. 1 sec, because this is kind of, you'll see where I'm going with this in a sec. So if I go to the 2023 ESPN 100 recruiting rankings, Bronny was ranked 20th, right? Let's just go in order. Sean Stewart was ranked 19th, one spot ahead of Bronny. Where is he? Have you ever heard of him?
I've never heard that name. I've never heard that name before.
He plays for Duke. Let's see what he's doing at Duke. I'll have to look it up this way. Right. Sean Stewart, Duke.
Discovering an unknown. Oh, wait, to the Sean Stewart fans out there, to the two of you, sorry.
Not even. He transferred. Okay, so Sean Stewart, who was ranked one spot ahead of Bronny, started his career at Duke, played 8.3 minutes per game, averaged 2.6 points, transferred to Ohio State. He currently starts there and averages 6.1 points per game. No one gives Sean Stewart any crap, right? Keep going down the list. Trenton Flowers was ranked 18th. Aiden Holloway was ranked 17th. Xavier Booker was ranked 16th. Okay, Rob Dillingham was ranked 15th. Kwame Evans is 14. Elliot Cadeau, 13. Stephon Castle, 12. Omaha Billy is 11. It's like you got to compare Bronny to, right, the expectation, which the expectation should not, for the 20th best recruit in his class, should be how's he doing compared to other guys in that range. And I just read off the other guys in the top 10. No one's heard of any of them. Half of them probably don't even get minutes on their college team. Bronny's like so far ahead of schedule for what any 19-year-old should be doing. Like,
I mean,
yeah, give him time. Like, chill out a little bit, you know? Like, is he good? No. But, like, no one should be expecting him to be good. He's better than most of his peers. And, yeah, I think he's got enough, like, skills that will translate to him being a solid NBA player at some point.
Yep. I want to know what other 55th pick in the NBA draft can, I don't know, drive in the G League.
Yeah.
Bronny's averaging like around 15 points per game. I want to know what other late second round could do that.
We can do it that way too, right? I use high school recruiting rankings, but right. How about who was the 56th pick? What are they doing? Do you guys know?
Nope.
No idea.
Let's find out.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Like, we admire you. We look at the history.
Jr. was picked 56th. He hasn't played a game in the NBA.
Oh my.
Ulrich, I can't even say this guy's name. Ulrich Chomchi was the 57th pick. He's played 6 games.
Wow.
Like Ariel Porti was the 58th pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, however you want to slice it. Like, for what like Bronny should be doing, he's on track. I think he's fun.
Yep. Next, what I want to pick your brain on is I want you to give me I want you to give me like the perfect point guard, the perfect shooting guard, the perfect small forward. You get what I mean? Like, people who define their position. Like, you're not going to give me Steph for point guard because, I mean, he's more of a point guard. And you're not going to give me, like, I wouldn't say you give me LeBron for small forward because he's more of a point guard. He can play any position. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, like, the more traditional definitions of each position.
Yeah. Like, you're not giving me Anthony Davis.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I want to, okay, let me think about it a little bit. Only, like, current players or, like, all time or what?
Yeah, all time.
Okay. Because part of me wants to say, like, you know, Steve Nash for point guard or something, right? But also part of me wants to say, like, Tyus Jones, you know, like, or Chris Paul, right? Or, you know what I mean? I don't think just, like, the stars, like, if anything, the stars might be the wrong picks because they're so good that they do too much for just, like, what the position asks for. So, but yeah, let's keep it to, like, you know, good players, I guess. It's probably like Chris Paul, point guard. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Completely agree.
Same pick. Okay.
Chris, yeah.
Shooting guard.
Wait, people say that the point guard position and center position is dead. In my opinion, the shooting guard position was never even alive. Like, come on, yeah.
Let me hear that. Let's hear the take there.
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jerry West.
Yep.
Like, I don't see them as a shooting guard. I just see them as a star player, you know? Like, I can't say a single shooting guard besides Klay Thompson who would, like, do that role, you know?
So you're saying Kobe wasn't a shooting guard?
I mean, he was, but he wasn't a shooting guard. Like, he wasn't.
I think the position's just like just the naming of it.
Positionless
like the point
NBA.
guard.
Yeah, I guess right. Like shooting. Yeah, what does that even mean, right?
Like at the point we had traditional point guards like Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Chris Paul. We've never had like a traditional shooting guard.
True. But I guess that's right. That's the point. If your job is just to shoot, then odds are you're not a star because the stars can all do more than that.
Like Ray Allen.
That's interesting because like I was gonna say Kobe for shooting guard, but like.
But then we brought up this.
Right, is like Klay the better answer?
In my opinion, a shooting guard is a role player. Like that's the most role player you can.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
And you can. You have your opinion, so.
Because it's almost like I think I would have Kobe as a shooting guard, right? Because he wasn't, he doesn't run an offense. He doesn't have like, that sort of like usage rate. But I see what you're saying. Like, just like pure ideal shooting guard that like plays off ball and kind of runs around screens and stuff. Yeah, it's probably Klay. I think Klay's a good one. You called that out. Or kind of anyone, from like built from that cloth. Small forward.
I don't even have one.
I was gonna say like Scottie Pippen, or like, but even like he was more of like a LeBron. Like Scottie could handle, right? Scottie could like run some offense. Like Scottie was pretty good all around. But I think that's kind of what a small forward does, right? It is like a good all around player.
If you have a star as a team, I think it would be small forward or center.
The ideal star. Yeah, you want like a 6'8" guy who can do everything.
Yeah. So you got Scottie, small forward.
Yeah, I'll go Scottie. Why not? And then
power forward.
Power forward. I'll say KG. I think people say Duncan, but like Duncan really played center most of his career. The years with David Robinson, Duncan, I guess, played the 4, but for the most part, Duncan was the 5. And like KG, I think, was a little bit of a better shooter, so he could stretch a little more. So I'll go KG for the 4, and then center, just like Shaq.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I would go Hakeem just because he's a little much of a better defender. He can impact both sides of the rim. So, yep. And
list. Yeah,
that's a pretty good list. Last thing I have is this is the take I have. I think 2008 Chris Paul could beat any other guard in NBA history in a 1v1. That is
CP3 guy.
Like one-on-one, ones and twos, first to 11 thing.
He was quick. Like he was amazing. He plays top 5 in DPOY voting at 6 feet tall. He was still athletic.
I like Chris Paul love. This is a good hill to die on.
I get like so annoyed whenever people make Rajon Rondo jokes or Chris Paul cuts the lead. Yeah, that just annoys me because, in my opinion, he's arguably the most underrated.
Yeah.
Wait, who makes Rondo jokes? Like saying like Chris Paul is just Rondo?
Yeah. Like every time I see Chris Paul post or something, people say
that's great.
Yeah, I thought Rondo had 2 rings. So Yeah, that annoys me.
All right. No, prime Chris Paul is like, yeah, I mean, up there with almost any point guard for sure. Especially like all around. Like, I think I made a video about this maybe a couple years ago, but like, if you're talking just like all around players, like guys who had like no real weakness, Chris Paul is right there with, Larry Bird, right? Like, there's nothing Chris Paul couldn't do. Obviously, I guess his height had some limitations, but yeah, right? Defense, 3-point shooting, handle, passing. He had everything. So
yeah. So do you think he could beat Allen Iverson, Kyrie Irving in a one-on-one versus 211?
I mean, I don't think those guys would be my picks. Any guard? I think I might take Luka.
Actually, no, any point guard. Not like MJ or Kobe. That's kind of
MJ or okay. Any like under 6'5" point guard?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. Luka.
Do it. If the NBA had like a one-on-one tournament, it would have to be like weight classes or like height divisions. So
because like also you said Luka. Luka's just gonna be a cone on defense. Like he's not stopping Chris Paul from getting to the rim.
I think yes, but also like I think these guys are better, especially if it's like a one-on-one when you have to like when your honors on the line, right? I think these guys are better defense. Like you or me couldn't score on Luka, right?
Yeah.
I bet if we played Luka one-on-one, we'd be like, this is the greatest defensive player we've ever seen, right?
Yeah,
so Luka's still 6'8", insanely strong. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Paul's 6'1", maybe, probably more like 5'11", but yeah, under 6'5" guard that I think could beat prime Chris Paul one-on-one. Yeah, like the Kyrie matchup would be fun. It's a good take. It's a good take. I don't know. I think you, I think you got a good argument.
Sure. And then I think to wrap things up, like big thing, this will be coming out Super Bowl weekend, right? This will be coming out on Monday. Super Bowl week. What are your thoughts on that? It doesn't have to be too specific, but just like Chiefs 3-peat again with the what are your just basic thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is first of all, I'm not rooting for either team.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody is. So that kind of sucks. But I think we've seen this story before, and it's been the last two Super Bowls, right? 2 years ago, the Eagles had the loaded roster and the worst quarterback. Last year, the Niners had the loaded roster, the crazy defense, all the weapons, but the worst quarterback. And I know some people could argue that like this Eagles roster is different. This Eagles roster is even better than either of those two rosters. And maybe it is. I'm still just going to bet on the better quarterback, right? It's at the end of the day, like Mahomes put up 30 in the Super Bowl each of the last 2 years against these, crazy defenses, right? So, and I think the Chiefs defense is really good too. I think not enough people talk about that. So yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win, but
not a big victory for a lot of people. It was a fun season. See the Commanders, the Rams, fun season, but we'll see what happens.
Definitely.
And that's about all we have.
That's pretty much all we have. So make sure to check out Andrew Fenichel. Great content, NBA, NFL, all the links down below. Check out his YouTube, Instagram, all that. Any last words to say?
Nothing, man. Yeah, congrats on getting Luka. Big day to be a Lakers fan. And thanks for having me on. Fun.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, this has been A&A.
And have a great day. And that's